Good morning, Wall Street winners. It is October the 18th, Friday, and we've had an exciting week filled with some pretty spectacular earnings. If we look at what came in this morning in earnings, we're going to see that SLB and Amex both beat expectations and earnings and had good forward guidance, but both shares are down in the pre-market. You can see that we're about 45 minutes to the open, and we have two of the three U.S. indices, the S&P 500 and NASDAQ, in the green, but only mildly. I mean, the NASDAQ is up 0.5%, so that's pretty good. And that's probably coming off of strong Netflix earnings yesterday. So Netflix came out and had very positive subscriber growth to the tune of adding 5 million new subscribers. And that has pushed Netflix up. But the other stocks, SLB in oil and oil refining and distribution, as well as Amex, both coming out with good earnings, but getting hit in the pre-market. So if we take a look at what's going on here in the Yahoo Finance app, you can see that crude is down slightly, 0.2 cents. It is down under 71. There is talk about the U.S. encouraging Israel to commit to resolving the conflict over there after killing the individual who led the attacks back a year ago in October against Israel. But Israel is saying they're not going to stop until they get back all the hostages. So there's still a lot going on over in that area. And again, it's not going to get resolved anytime soon. It's going to take months and months of talks and negotiations. We've got the VIX under 20 for the first time this week. So that's very positive. If we take a look at what it's done over the last month, you can see that it has, since the end of September, it crossed up from the 18 range up into the 20s, and it's really sat there in the low 20s for most of October at this point. Looking for that to get down into the 15, 16 range. And then if we look down through our list of stocks that we follow today, you've got health and retail mostly in the red. Lulu is up in the pre-market $2, but it got beaten up badly yesterday and down 10. You've got Humana up 10 yesterday, off 2 today. And then you've got transports. So transports are in the red today. In the green in the pre-market. They were in the red yesterday. They're likely to flip into the red again today, but we'll have to wait and see on those. Again, not a sector we're really actively following at this time based on where we are in the economic cycle. And then we've got oil stocks. So oil stocks are mostly in the green, although it is a bit of a mixed bag. You've got, and if they are in the red or green, it's in the pennies, so it's not really material. But crude is down 14 cents right now, just above 70.50 a barrel for crude futures out into November. SLB reported they're down 50 cents, but they are starting to come back. So we'll have to watch and see that even after some good results. That might be an interesting one to pick up on a dip for a 50-cent gain throughout the trading day today. And then one we don't follow that we'll just pull up on the screen is Amex. And Amex released good results and a good future forecast. And it's off almost 2.5%, down $6.80. Now, it has had a nice climb. So over the last 6 months, the stock has done very, very, very well, up 31%. But that's where we are with Amex. If we go down into tech, NVDL looks like it's off to a positive start, which tells me that NVIDIA is going to be off to a positive start. Micron's continuing to climb back. I mean, this was a $140 stock in the last 3 months. So we're expecting it to get back there based on what we've seen out of TSM and other semiconductor companies. And then you've got CrowdStrike making a gain yesterday and in the pre-market as well today. Apple had some good news on the iPhone 16 coming out of China last night, saying that growth in China has exceeded expectations with the iPhone 16. So that is positively benefiting Apple stock. This might be a good entry point into Apple. I don't talk a lot about Apple because Apple has it's not been one of my fan favorites recently. It's kind of hovered in a range, but I think it might be breaking out of that range now going into the release of the iPhone 16. So that's one that I'm going to start to track and talk about more. CRM's up at 290. We really need this stock, Salesforce, to get up into the 300, 310 range. It's been kind of hitting a glass ceiling in the 290. So if it breaks through the 290 into the 300 range, then I think that's a buy signal for that stock. You've got PanW, Palo Alto, up at 376. It's pretty rich at the moment, so I'm pulling off of that. I'm staying away from that. I think net has a fair way to go on earnings. So we're going to see earnings come out on November 7th for net, and I'll be watching that closely. Scrolling down further, we've got Microsoft, which is still in the 14s. So I'm saying that Microsoft now, going into earnings, which are coming out in 2 weeks, I think is well positioned to hit the 430s, maybe 445 range on a positive earnings print. ARM is always doing well in terms of volatility. It was up 2 yesterday. It's up another $2 today. On semi dropped in below $70, but looks like it's going to break up above that $70 mark. We really need on to get back into the mid 90s, and that's going to be dependent on whether EVs and car sales turn around. And I think they will as interest rate decreases start to take effect. It takes 6 to 12 months for that sort of thing to catch up in the actual Main Street economy versus Wall Street economy. And then you've got Lam Research, which was beat up the other day when ASML sold off. It was down yesterday. It's back up a little bit in the pre-market today. But on earnings here, which come out in 5 days, so they're out next week, I think we're going to see Lam Research, just like we had TSM, announce great results. And I think this is going to move up into the mid 80s or $90 range on earnings next week. And then we've got Meta in the 576. I mean, this is a stock we were talking about in the 490s a month ago, saying it was going to get to 550, and now it almost touched $600 in the last week or so. So up 3 in the pre-market. I think they're going to have very positive earnings in 2 weeks. So this is what I'm following, but I'm still waiting for a bit more of a pullback on this because there really isn't, in my opinion, too much room to the upside at where it's priced right now. You can see Netflix in the pre-market up 45. That's based on that net add of 5 million subscribers, which was unexpected and positive. BABA up $3, which was off 2 yesterday, and then Nvidia again up $1.81, so doing well there. Google was off yesterday. I expect this to come back today. This is a stock that I would buy easily in the 164, 165 range and watch for a $1 or $2 bump. Now, if it doesn't happen immediately, give it 12 days. Once we get to earnings, I'm confident that earnings are going to be positive with Google, and we're going to see this stock jump significantly. And then we have TSM, which had a great day yesterday on positive results, up $18.50, and it looks like it's up 50 cents in the pre-market. Moving down into financials, you've had a bit of a sell-off in SoFi. This could be a good buying opportunity going into earnings for SoFi. It did get up over $10. It's down into the 987 range. It looks like it's up 2 cents today. I do believe that it could stay above $10 on a positive earnings print and forward future guidance. And then you've got the big boys down at the bottom. So JPM doing well, up at 224. M&T had great results, and yesterday had a big day, up $9.52, up again in the pre-market this morning. MS pulled back. Morgan Stanley pulled back a little bit yesterday, but it looks like it's going to make that back, and so did Goldman. And it looks like, I think Goldman's going to be up in the 450s within the next couple of weeks before the end of this month. So that's where we are today. Good luck with your trades, and if you're